Honorable Majority, could you please confirm if we have quorum?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have enough quorum.
Madam Clerk, please take us through the orders.
Order paper number 266 of today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Section 185(4) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 4th December 2024. 1. Request for approval to sublease land to Metaditas for establishing a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant in Kisumu and support for its conversion to a special economic zone. 2. City of Kisumu Annual Investment Plan 2024-2025. And lastly, Kisumu City Integrated Development Plan 3. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I wish to acknowledge the receipt of request for approval to sublease land to Metaditas for establishing a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant in Kisumu and support for its conversion to a special economic zone. I want to direct that this report be committed to the Committee on Lands and Planning and a report brought back to the Assembly within 21 days. Also, member, I wish to acknowledge the receipt of this paper, submission of the City of Kisumu's Integrated Urban Development Plan and Annual Investment Plan 2024-2025. And the Kisumu City Integrated Development Plan 3. And I want to direct that the House Business schedules this report for discussion in the floor of the House. Next order, Clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Yes, Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to give 2 notices of motion. 1, that this House adopt a motion for approval of the Integrated Urban Development Plan and Annual Investment Plan 2024-2025. 2, that this House adopts the proposal to consider for amendment in the standing orders to increase the membership of sectoral committees from the current 7 members to 9 members. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Yes, the Honorable Maurice Otieno Ngeta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I raise pursuant order number 42-2B of the standing order to seek a statement from the chairperson of the sectorial committee on finance and ICT regarding the havoc wreaked by the ongoing flood in the county, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that the ongoing heavy rains across the county, Mr. Speaker, the county especially the flood especially from areas has experienced severe flooding caused by heavy rains, leading to devastating impact of our residents, Mr. Speaker. This flood have caused widespread displacement, destruction of properties, and strategically loss of life. The example, for example, Mr. Speaker, in our Sionjiko ward has been particularly hard hit and is mourning the tragic loss of a resident of Border 1, Mr. Joseph Nyaoke, who was swept away along Kamonda Kanyipola Road in Border 1. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Mark Okeno Oyo, a resident of Wanganga sub-location, whose body was found yesterday morning after being swept away by the heavy floods, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, recognizing that the county assembly allocated funds from the emergency and disaster management, I request that the chairperson of the sectorial committee on finance and ICT provide a response on the following matters, Mr. Speaker. 1, the county preparedness and response mechanism to address the needs of residents affected by the flood, including those who have been displaced or have suffered other losses, Mr. Speaker. Number 2, the current status of utilization of funds allocated for emergencies and disaster management, including details of any intervention that have been implemented to alleviate the suffering of the affected residents, Mr. Speaker. Number 3, plans for construction and rehabilitation of infrastructure such as roads and drainage system damaged by the flood, Mr. Speaker, which especially reference to Kamonda, Kanyipola, Wanganga, Border 2, Ayocha, and other affected areas, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, efforts to provide immediate humanitarian relief, including food, shelter, and medical assistance to affected communities. Lastly, number 5, long-term strategies to mitigate the mitigate the effect of flood, such as in investment in food management, infrastructure, early warning system, and community preparedness program. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, may I request you to give members to give their views on the same, Mr. Speaker, due to ongoing flood menace in the county. Thank you.
Chair of Finance. Any member of the committee who wants to put a comment onto the statement?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise as the Vice Chair of the committee. I think what has been raised has some concern in it, and therefore would take the matter with the concerned executive officer through the committee the course of next week, and will be able to respond in 3 weeks' time. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I direct that you bring back a report in the next 14 days. Response to this to the statement raised by the Honorable Maurice Otieno Ngeta. I'm giving you up to 14 days to bring a response. I want to ask the Honorable Member to be present when the response will be scheduled for discussion on the floor of the House. Thank you. What is it, Honorable Wadari?
Honorable Speaker, thank you. This is just a concern. I would like if you can advise me appropriately. I've heard you talking of giving a notice of 14 days. And all of us, we know very well that...
Order, Honorable Member. Thank you. Honorable Member, I know you know our standing orders. Once a ruling has been made, then you cannot put discussion on the ruling made by the Speaker. So the standing orders allows that we give up to a maximum of 14 days. But if they bring it tomorrow, we have no problem. If they bring it, but it should be within 40 days. So they should work knowing that we have a schedule as an assembly and the Honorable Member wants the report back as soon as possible. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of the report of PICPA Committee on the examination of the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of Lumumba County Hospital for the period ended 30th June 2023.
Yes, the Honorable Uko Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for allowing me to move a motion on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Lumumba Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2023. Mr. Speaker, I have to bring to your attention that for the last financial year, which was 2022, the Lumumba Hospital had adverse opinion. But this time it has a qualified opinion. On behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, PICPAC, and pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House a report of the committee on the audited financial statement of Lumumba Sub-County Level 4 Hospital for the financial year 2022-2023. The County Assembly exercises oversight over county government entities, stock investments, and their expenditure pursuant to Article 185(3) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 through the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, which in turn derives its mandate from the County Assembly Standing Orders. Article 229(8) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the County Assembly within 3 months after receiving an audit report to debate, consider the report, and take appropriate action. The committee held 2 sittings during which it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officers on audit queries raised by the Attorney General on the finance settlement of Lumumba Sub-County Level 4 Hospital financial year 2022-2023. Honorable Speaker, I wish to register my appreciation to fellow honorable members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly, Committee Secretariat, and the Office of the Auditor General for facilitation and technical support that made the production of this report possible. I wish to acknowledge and appreciate Lumumba Sub-County Level 5 Hospital for their improvement from disclaimer of opinion to qualified opinion. Sorry for that. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to table the report on the consideration of Auditor General's report on the financial statement of Lumumba Sub-County Level 5 Hospital, Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2023 and I urge this House to adopt it. 3.0, report on the Auditor General on the financial statement of Lumumba Level 4 Hospital 2022-2023. Honorable Speaker, the medical superintendent, Dr. Pamela Ulilo, appeared before the committee on 22nd November 2022 to adduce evidence on the audited financial statement of Lumumba Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2023. The following officers represented the Office of the Auditor General in the committee meeting. Karanja, Mr. Karanja, who is the Deputy Director, Kisumu County, Kisumu Regional Office. Basis for qualified opinion, financial year 2022-2023. Honorable Speaker, the following issues form the basis of qualified opinion. We are dealing with the moving notes. The most explained one is actually running in your walls. The following issues form the basis of qualified opinion. In accuracies in property and plant, inaccuracies in receivable from exchange transactions, lack of ownership and valuation documents for land, building, undisclosed furniture, fitting, office equipments, non-disclosure of intangible assets, long outstanding payable, variance in trade and other payable, budgetary control and performance, unresolved prior year matters, failure to open facility improvement bank account, failure to implement e-procurement system, non-compliance with Kenya Quality Model Health Guideline, lack of internal audit functions and audit committee, failure to transfer revenue to the country revenue fund accounts. Summary of observations. The committee summarized the following observations. One, that the management did not charge depreciation on plant, property, and equipment, even though the financial statement had been prepared based on IPSA's accumulated basis of accrual. Two, that review of the fixed asset register by the auditor revealed that it was incomplete, as it did not include assets value, description, tag, serial numbers, make or model, supplier's name, date of acquisition, original or current locations, the officer responsible, and asset conditions. Three, that the management is not using the template for the fixed asset register as prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board from time to time. Four, that receivable amounting to Kenya shillings 1,104,620 had been outstanding for a long period. Five, that there were unreconciled variants of Kenya shillings 3,933,360 in receivable from exchange transactions. Six, that the asset schedule provided in support of assets reflected nil balance with respect to buildings, land, even though the land is presumed to have a value. Seven, that the title document provided for audit revealed that the land on which the hospital is built in the name of the defunct municipal municipal council of Kisumu. 8, that the matter of lack of documentation on land ownership was an audit issue in the report of the previous financial year, and recommendations was made to the Department of Land, Physical Planning and Housing and Development to expedite the same. Nine, that the management failed to disclose the previous balance on office furniture, fittings, and equipment, and only disclosed additions during the year of Kenya shillings 176,400. 10, that the management had a billing system which is called FunSop, whose value was unknown, which management had not disclosed under intangible assets in the financial statement. 11, that payments amounting to Kenya shillings 7,045,839 had been long outstanding, and the management did not explain the reason for non-settlement, even though it should have formed the first charge in 2022-2023 budget as per the requirements of Regulation 139(7) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020. 12, that payroll deductions of Kenya shillings 550,800 and Kenya shillings 70,000 from the National Social Security Fund and the National Hospital Insurance Fund, respectively, had been remitted, as at the time of committee deliberations, the same had been remitted. That the financial statement of facility reflected Kenya shillings 223,500 as the amount owed to the Kenya Medical Suppliers Authority, KEMSA, while KEMSA record reflect 264,748, resulting in an explained variance of Kenya shillings 41,248. 14, there was an underfunding of Kenya shillings 2,276,472, or 15% of the budget. Underutilization of Kenya shillings 300, and underutilization of Kenya shillings 3,127,445, or 20% of the receipt. 15, that the hospital spent 12,635,401 against actual receipt of Kenya shillings 15,762,846, resulting in underutilization of Kenya shillings 3,127,445, or 20% of the receipt. That several issues raised under the report of financial statements and report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources and report on effectiveness on internal control, risk management, and governance are yet to be addressed. 17, that during the time of audit, the management had not opened a facility improvement bank account contrary to Section 5A of the Kisumu County Health Facility Improvement Fund Act 2021 that states that each public facility shall open and operate a bank account called Facility Improvement Bank Account in respect of each facility. 18, that through a letter dated 10th July 2024, the management requested the Chief Officer of Finance and Economic Planning through the Chief Officer of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation for the authority to open a Facility Improvement Fund account. 19, that as at the time of committee deliberations, no response to this letter had been received by the management. 20th, that the management failed to implement e-procurement module system contrary to Regulation 49(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020, which states that the conduct of e-procurement procedure for the supply of goods and services shall be that the management failed to implement e-procurement module system contrary to Regulation 49(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations 2020, which states that the conduct of e-procurement procedures for the supply of goods and services shall be carried out by a procuring entity using an e-procuring system which is integrated to the state portal. 21, that the hospital did not meet a number of key specifications as prescribed by Kenya Quality Model for Health Policy Guideline with reference to their medical personnel staffing, equipment used, and service offered. 22, that the management failed to adhere to Section 155 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which provides for the establishment of the internal audit functions and audit committee on the board. 23, that the facility has since formed an audit committee. 24, that the management failed to adhere to Regulation 81, 1 to 3 of the Public Finance and Management County Government Regulation 2015, which states that a receiver of revenue shall promptly deposit into the county exchequer account all receipts due to the county revenue fund. 25th, which is the last, that the facility is now the The facility is now using a pay bill for collection of revenue. The pay bill is linked to the revenue fund. Summary of recommendations. The committee summarized the following recommendations. One, that in future, the management must ensure that depreciation is charged on plant, property, and equipment. Two, that the accounting officer immediately prepare the fixed asset register using the template prescribed and published by the Accounting Standard Board and provide the same to the Office of the Auditor General during the audit of the subsequent financial year. Three, that the accounting officer put in place appropriate measures to ensure that the long-standing receivable of Kenya shillings 1,104,620 are recovered within a current financial period. Four, that the accounting officer reconciles the variance in receivable from exchange transactions and report the same to auditor during the audit of the subsequent financial year. Five, that going forward, the management must ensure that all balances are disclosed in the financial statements. Six, that the accounting officer initiate the process of valuation of the fund swap system and ensure that the value is disclosed in the financial statement of the subsequent financial year. Seven, that going forward, the management must adhere to Regulation 139(7) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020 on the first charge. 8, that going forward, the County Executive Committee member Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT must ensure full disbursement of approved budget. 9, that the management expedite implementation of recommendations on prior year issues and evidence of implementation be submitted to the Assembly within a period of 21 days upon adoption of this report. 10, that going forward, the management must ensure adherence to Regulation 49(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulation 2020, which states that the conduct of the procurement of e-procurement procedures for the supply of goods and services shall be carried out by procuring entity using an e-procurement system which is integrated to the state portal. 11, that the accounting officer, Department of Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation demonstrates to this Assembly by way of report corrective measures taken to progressively adhere to Kenya quality model for health policy guideline within 90 days upon adoption of this report. Mr. Speaker, I hereby request this House adopt this report of Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the consideration of Auditor General's report on the financial statement of Lumumba Sub-County Level 4 Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2023. May I call upon Honorable James Omolo?
Yes, Honorable James Omolo.
To second.
Thank you, members. Now that the report on the examination of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Lumumba Level 5 Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2023 has been moved as a motion. And seconded, I propose to put a question that we open the report for debate. Yes, what is it? The Honorable Member Peter Basso.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to contribute on the this.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me start by applauding the committee for this report. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, Lumumba Sub-County Hospital has attained a qualified opinion on this on their financial report, and that just means that they complied with the accounting regulations. And from this report, we can still see variances that cannot be explained. So it's just upon ourselves to urge the hospital to improve on how they handle their finances, so that we can have absolute faith in how they handle these funds. From this report, there are so many things that really need to be addressed. From this report, on their receivables, exchange receivables, that means that money that they get from different companies like NHIF, Marwa, and others, those days that they get from patients and others, there are amounts that cannot be accounted for, around adding up to around 3 million. And the officers in charge should be put to task so that they explain such. With those few remarks, I beg to support. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Dari.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'll be very, very brief. First of all, let me appreciate the good work which has been done by the committee, led by my brother-in-law, Honorable Ouko. Mr. Speaker, I've gone through the recommendations of the committee, but there is somewhere I've seen that there is the amount which was not transferred to the county revenue fund account for approval by the controller of budget before withdrawal. And that amount is 7,740,847.50. I've gone through the recommendations very fast, but I've not seen where the committee have recommended that which kind of action should be taken for whoever was handling these monies. Because this is total failure. They are derailing the county backward. Mr. Speaker, I think it is the last page. Summary recommendations, and this one has been a problem to this county in each and every department. Number 10, which says that according to their recommendation, they are saying that going forward, the county executive committee member, finance, economic planning, and ICT must ensure full disbursement of approved budget. Mr. Speaker, this issue of not giving all the monies which were approved by this assembly, it has become a problem in each and every department. And I will support the recommendations that going forward, the executive should give all the departments their approved budget. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I support the report.
Yes, Honorable Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, judging from the mood of the House, I want to call to reply.
Yes, Honorable Uko.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me appreciate the members who have attended the session today, and have confirmed that we are doing some good work as a committee. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I may like to explain something to Honorable Odari, that we are just talking about the compliance adhering to regulations. It is not that some money got lost, but they failed to follow the right procedure. You can remember, Mr. Speaker, these people had a disclaimer opinion when they first appeared in the Assembly. That is now 2021, 2022. But this year now, 2022, 2023, they have jumped from disclaimer to qualified. So, in fact, it is encouraging. It means that the County Assembly of Kisumu is doing some work. And we are tight on their neck to see that they implement most of these recommendations passed by the Assembly. Remember, Mr. Speaker, we insist before we go into any business, any financial statement, they have to tell us what they did with the recommendations we passed for the previous years. So if it is 2021, 2022, they had to explain very clearly before getting into the audit report what they have done so far to warrant all this opinion called qualified, adverse, or something like that. So should there be any improvement, we must confirm with them here in the Assembly that they do that. We also urge the committee for implementations. Mr. Speaker, the other time, some were complaining that the previous chair of implementation committee was not attending the House sessions. But you can remember, you can see now, the current chair has just moved out and is not taking matters. So I don't know what's wrong with this implementation committee. I hope, Mr. Speaker, you will, you see, now the blame game, somebody was thinking probably of good things, but the blame games now come from the previous chair to the current chair. So, Mr. Speaker, it is not easy. Another issue which is also there, which is we really appreciate some of the members who are attending our committee meetings, like Honorable Basso. It is very important. We welcome everybody to be part of the committee when we are doing our business, so that you know we come up with a all-inclusive report. Remember, the report of PICPAC, it is more of oversight and it is guided by law. So when you are part of the exercise, you know you are part of the roles which you are elected to do in the County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. May God bless all members. Thank you. I reply.
Thank you, honorable members. A motion has been moved on a report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Lumumba's Level 4 Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2023. A motion that was seconded and debated by the honorable members. I propose now to put a question for the adoption. that as many as of the opinion that we adopt the report of Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the examination of the Auditor General report on the financial statement of Lumumba Level 4 Hospital for the financial year ended 30th June 2023, say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion, say nay. Members, the ayes have it, and the report from the Committee of Public Accounts and Investment on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on financial statements of Lumumba Level 4 hospitals for the financial year ended 30th June 2023 has been adopted today, the 4th of December 2023 at 15:23 hours. Honorable members, I direct that this report be published in the website of the Assembly and the recommendations be taken to the different departments for implementation. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business in the order paper.
Let's remain standing, honorable members. This House then stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 5th of December, 2024 at 2:30 p.m.